Autism and food. When I was younger, I used to be a very picky eater. I was only comfortable eating stuff that I was familiar with. So whatever I had not tried yet, I wouldn't because like everybody, but especially with individuals on the spectrum, fear of the unknown and fear of change is very frightening, right? It's very stressful. So if your child is a picky eater, that's probably because they're afraid of changing the foods they're eating and trying new foods, which is fear of the unknown, right? How's it going to taste? Is it going to taste better or worse than the current food that I want to stick with? I used to be that way when I was younger. I would never let different foods touch each other on a plate. I used to have all these different plates with each food, each dish on one plate. No touching, no mixing foods. So yes, I was a very picky eater when I was younger. Now I have learned to expand my horizons when it comes to food, and I'm pretty experimental. I'll try anything once. I'm actually vegetarian now, something that happened during the shutdown on COVID. So I won't eat meat, but I'll still eat fish and, experiment with different foods that I haven't tried yet. That being said, every single day, I eat the same exact foods up until dinner time. And then dinner is where I can kind of relax and loosen up a little bit, maybe try some different things. So on a day-to-day basis, my number one food that I'm obsessed with is oats. Sometimes I'll just have the raw oats and put them in my mouth. Sometimes I'll just have raw oatmeal. I'll cook it, but like unflavored oatmeal. So oats are basically part of every food that I have throughout the day, again, until dinner. But sometimes I have oatmeal for dinner, right? So oats are a big thing for me. And why? It's because they, for me, bring comfort. Comfort for the mind is key for me choosing what to eat. And I would assume the majority of children as well, even though they can't articulate it to you. So why is oatmeal comforting for me? Well, it has, organic oatmeal, it has nothing in it. It just has carbs and calories, right? There's no sugar, there's no fat, there's no sodium, right? And I'm very obsessive with what I put in my body. That's thanks to my OCD, right? So oats are great. My OCD won't go crazy if I have them. I won't be worrying about, oh my God, I had too much sodium or I had too much fat or sugar. They're relatively low calorie, which I like because you can put lots of water in it when you make oatmeal, and it'll make a lot. The more water you put in the oatmeal, the longer you have to cook it, but the more it will make. So it fills you up with less calories. Again, something my OCD likes. So oatmeal is, I eat oatmeal all the time. Plus it's whole grains, and your body burns twice as many calories digesting whole grains as it does to regular grains, such as like just white pasta noodles, right? So food is very important in my life. Why? Food is probably the one thing in my life that has always brought me joy and comfort. Every day I look forward to eating. I'm obsessed with eating, actually, because it is the one constant in my life. And again, when you're on the spectrum, most individuals, they do not like change and they do not like fear of the unknown. So I look forward to knowing each day the foods that I'm going to eat and the foods that I'm familiar with eating. Plus, these foods not only bring me joy in the sense of my taste buds, but they bring me peace of mind because they don't irritate my OCD by putting a foreign object into my body, because then my OCD will go on alert and start bothering me. So, how does food factor into this channel? Hi, autistic guy, right? Well, obviously with marijuana, with cannabis, with pot, with weed, whatever you want to call it, there are times where you get the munchies. And I've talked about this in the past videos. There's a terpene, which is a part of the plant, of the cannabis plant. There's a terpene called humulene, which will actually suppress your appetite, right? So it really doesn't give you the munchies if you have cannabis with the terpene humulene in it, right? But there are days when I really just want to chill out because my mind is so rigid. I obsess so much about what I put into my body. I'm very strict with my diet, even though, like I said, during dinners, I will experiment with healthy food, but I'll still experiment. I'm very strict when it comes to bad foods for you, right? But they bring me joy. I don't get a lot of joy in this world. Not right now anyway, during this COVID pandemic, I think a lot of people aren't getting a lot of joy in this world, and we've all been kind of, nurturing ourselves. So what I like about cannabis is sometimes I'll take a strain that does give me the munchies, right? But the thing is that if I take enough cannabis, it will shut off that part of my OCD that usually bothers me when I put something into my body that is unknown to me, right? Or unfamiliar with me. So, for instance, when I've had the munchies before where it's, I've probably eaten 10,000 calories in 1 hour from like 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'll eat like 10,000 calories, literally, because, I'm a big guy, and I have a lot of muscle, and I need a lot of calories just to, get through day-to-day life. So when I get the munchies, that increases. So I'll have like ice cream, Reese's peanut butter cups, all that stuff. All that stuff that I always want, but I can never really have because of my OCD. For instance, if I had a Reese's peanut butter cup right now, it would probably destroy my day. Just one. Just like even a bite of it. It would just like, my OCD would tell me, Russell, that's not part of your routine. You just had a good workout. You just ate half a Reese's peanut butter cup. Now that's messing with your usual routine. It just throws, it's like, the gears just start getting, I'm not even high right now and I'm losing my train of thought. It just throws a wrench into the gears, right? Because it's unfamiliar. Eating a Reese's peanut butter cup after a workout in the middle of the day is not part of my routine. Keep that in mind when you're trying to push new foods onto your kids, which you should. You should expand their horizons, but I want you to take all this video and use this context surrounding how to implement new foods, introducing new foods to your kids. But what I like about munchies is cannabis, when I get that high, it turns down my OCD. So I can enjoy my food, whether it's dessert or just regular dinner, without that voice in my head saying, Russell, this is unfamiliar. It calms that part down, and I don't worry about it. And so again, that's another benefit for me when it comes to cannabis. But again, with food, even to this day, food is, I'm very protective over it. Even when I order takeout from a restaurant, I'll rinse it off. Like if I get Thai food, right? I'll rinse it off because I don't want all their sauce. I'm not a big fan of condiments. It's like wasteful calories for me. I love salt, right? I love salt, so that has no calories. So condiments are kind of like salt with calories, which doesn't make sense to my analytical, literal, autistic brain, right? So I don't like salt. Nope, I don't like condiments. I love salt. So like when I get Thai food, I get takeout, right? I will wash it all down with water. And then it's just like plain Thai food, but then I put salt on it, and it just is amazing to me. That's another idiosyncrasy I have with food. When I make noodles at home, whole grain noodles, I will make them, and then we'll put them, when they're done, straight into the freezer. Because I love frozen noodles. Can you believe that? I love it. The majority of hot stuff I make that is hot, I then usher into the freezer and let it freeze a little bit because that texture. I love the cold sensation mixed with a little bit of the warmth still from making the food recently, along with the crunchiness of being a little bit frozen. So food is all about texture. It's all about sensory. What it feels good on your senses, right? It's about the taste, it's about the smell, it's about how it looks. So I hope that this video, and comment below, ask me questions, DM me, ask me more questions, because I hope this video gives you context, not only into how to introduce new food to your kids, but also context surrounding cannabis, because that's this channel, right? Cannabis actually helps me expand my horizons a little bit better when it comes to food because I can jump out of my routine, and that part of my brain that usually freaks out about that is calmed down a bit when I am on cannabis. So thank you for this, for tuning in, and I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you.